Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeff Glad, Chief Medical Officer at Fullscript, and I'm excited that you're able to join us today. As promised, we've got some exciting news to share, and I assure you it will be time well spent. We'll start by briefly discussing some of the biggest challenges that we all have in healthcare and get into how Fullscript is evolving to help you solve them, including a really exciting announcement and an invitation to join our beta testing group. We'll end by discussing the future of care and how together we can make it more fulfilling for all. I want to start by thanking the entire team at Fullscript. While I'm honored to be the one sharing all of this with you, it takes so many people on our team that have been working so hard to get us here today. And I'm only the one who just gets to deliver this big reveal. I also want to thank all of the providers Fullscript works with every day. Our mission is to hear you and to help you transform healthcare. We look forward to the day when whole person care is simply the standard of care, and we're thrilled to be revealing a huge step in that journey. Let's face it, whole person care is hard, and making the transition into it is even harder. None of us got to this path because we thought it would be easy, but we all got into it to help people get better. At Fullscript, we believe in helping providers like you achieve success and scale in your practices. That means helping to solve the problems that providers and patients face every single day. Improving practice workflows, addressing provider burnout, promoting patient adherence, helping you all keep up with the rapid pace of whole person care, all in the pursuit of better patient outcomes and stronger practices. You are all superheroes, but you're only human. We're here to support you with some exciting new tools to put in your utility belt. Now I'd like to welcome my friend and mentor, Dr. Taroni Lodog. She's worked with patients for decades and has educated thousands of practitioners. Taroni, I'm convinced you have one of the most unique and experienced views of whole person care imaginable. And I'm so thankful that you've joined us and would love for you to talk about, what are some of these whole person healthcare challenges and ultimately touch on the why. I mean, you understand, where Fullscript is coming from and the why behind that, and would love for you to share some of your thoughts.
Thank you, Jeff. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I love having an opportunity to do anything with you and Fullscript, and also just an opportunity to talk to all the providers that are out there, doing the work, just doing the work. And it's interesting, when we think about the challenges that are facing clinicians today. It doesn't matter what initials are behind your name, what type of clinician you are. We're dealing with an information overload. I mean, I was staggered the other day to be told that essentially everything we're learning in medicine is doubling every 90 days. And when you think about just the enormity of that, how does the everyday clinician who's just busy doing the work keep up with all of that? I think that it leads us feeling pressured for time, and also, am I a good clinician? How am I going to keep up with this information infobesity, they're calling it now. And then you have also the patients who are saying, I go to my doctor, I go to my clinician, I have a 20-minute visit, I feel like, I'm treated like everybody else is. This sense of cookie cutter medicine or algorithmic medicine that doesn't see the individual person as an individual person presenting in the unique way that they do. They feel overwhelmed. They go online. They're trying to find the right supplements. They go down to the natural grocery store and there are, shelves. There's 50 omega-3s. Like, which one do I possibly take? Which one's right for me? What diet should I take? There's just so many questions. And so when you think about the fragmentation that exists right now in our healthcare system, though we're very good at emergency care, the problems that people are facing, I'm not sleeping well, I'm tired, I've got gut problems, I'm depressed, I have no energy, and then all the real problems, and I don't mean that those aren't real, but the real conditions that are very serious that they're dealing with, I think that it's a bind that many people, both practitioners and patients, are feeling. And Fullscript is well positioned to be able to fill those gaps or build those bridges between the patients and the practitioners so that the patients feel like they're really being seen as the individual and getting personalized care, And the practitioner has the tools that they need to be able to practice more efficiently and effectively to deliver the whole person care that they're committed to deliver.
Yeah, you said it, Tarone. I mean, when you go from personalized plan building, patient engagement, provider burnout, I mean, these issues are real and they're having a real impact on both providers and patients, as you said, and that's impacting this entire industry. But as with any diagnosis, we've got to develop the right treatment plan. And so while our treatment plans have always included supplements, moving forward, we're expanding our focus to help remove other care delivery burdens and better fuel your entire care cycle. How can Fullscript help you stay focused on delivering whole person care and better outcomes while doing that while you scale your practice? The result was more than just a couple features. It was reimagining how Fullscript can evolve to help you solve these problems at every stage of the care cycle. This new experience delivers across the stages of care with actionable context, easier plan personalization, stronger patient adherence tools, and as always, the convenient access to high-quality, clinically proven supplements that you've known and trusted from Fullscript all along. It all adds up to better health outcomes and a more fulfilling experience for your patients, your practice, and for yourself as a person. I can attest to this because I'm not only Fullscript's chief medical officer, I also happen to be their favorite guinea pig. And I've seen the difference in this more collaborative care cycle in the walls of my own clinic. I've seen this difference with my own patients. So these new tools will help make whole person care obtainable, sustainable, and more scalable. So it hasn't just changed the way I practice, it's changed the way I work and how I feel when I do. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at how Fullscript aims to simplify each stage of this care cycle. And I want to start with helping practitioners gather context. Tarone, you want to share some insights in terms of understanding the context at that front end of that patient encounter?
Right. So, it is interesting. So not only are we having to, deal with all of the information overload that we have to deal with just in the general world of medicine, but it comes down right to each patient that we're seeing. So everybody's got their own way of doing an intake. But for me, I'm thinking, okay, I've got this appointment. They're coming in to see me on Wednesday. I hope that they've returned all of their intake into me ahead of time so I can review it before the appointment, right? So giving me an information about their nutrition, about their fitness and their past medical history and their medication and what values they have, like what are their personal goals for getting better. And of course, then you get to the supplement section, right? So this is my area. I'm a supplement person. So I'm really focused in on that. And I have this nice questionnaire for them to fill out and a little chart and everything. They never do. It's like calcium, 1 tablet. Like, what kind of calcium? Like, what size is the tablet? How many milligrams? And it's like fish oil, 2 tablets. What kind of fish oil? Who makes it? The brand. Even though you ask for all of this detail, you don't really get it. And more often than not, because I ask patients to bring their supplements with them to their appointment, they will bring their bag of supplements, which I know there's probably a little bit of a bias because I do integrative medicine. A lot of my patients take supplements, but they'll come in with like a paper bag full of supplements. And I'm pulling them out and I'm looking, and each one of these bottles have like anywhere from 8 to 14, 16 ingredients in them. You're trying to keep track of it. You've got an hour for your appointment or 45 minutes for your appointment, and this is going to take you all day long. Yes, we have the labels database for the natural supplements, but that means I've got to go look it up now. I've got to take a photo of it. I got to pull it all together. And so I don't think, for a lot of people, I don't think they realize just when you're trying to do this whole person care and you're really trying to get all of these different pieces into that history, it's very overwhelming for the patient, but it's super overwhelming for the practitioner. And for anybody listening to this today, I want you to know with more than 50,000 different unique dietary supplements in the marketplace, You can be forgiven if you don't know about every single ingredient and every single new botanical or new that's in there. It's just a lot for people to keep up with. And this is one of the areas, Jeff, I think that Fullscript can really help clinicians.
Yeah, you nailed it, Taroni. And realize that that's coming from one of the leading supplement experts in the world who also still wrestles with some of these same frustrations and challenges. So, at the core of whole person health, it's gaining the understanding of that whole person. But this collection stage is essential. And unfortunately, it's been pretty tedious and time consuming thus far. You've got to understand, family history and diet and lifestyle. You've got objective data like lab tests or past visits. So much goes into getting this whole picture. It's really the foundation as providers of what we want to understand in our patients. And so we're trying to make some of this less burdensome. We focused on the area of expertise for Fullscript. We have built a way to simplify this supplement intake problem by delivering a detailed, real-time look at what your patients are taking, whether you prescribe them or whether they pulled them off the shelf. We power this portion of the care cycle every step of the way by giving the provider a clearer clinical context and one source of truth of that patient's supplement list. So say goodbye to the days of starting every new patient interaction going through that giant bag of supplements that Taroni talked about. Taroni, it makes me think about, just the overwhelm part of this. I mean, when I was a fellow at the University of Arizona, you sent us out on a field trip to go find supplements, right? And just, the aha of how complicated this is for a medical doctor or another medical professional, and then the patient. So, can you talk about why you implemented that program and how powerful that was? Because I know it was very instructive for me.
Yeah, I did it. And that was a wonderful experience. We literally took people over and said, here's your little case. It was just a short little on an index card. And this is the amount of money you can spend, right? So it was two things. One is that people have a budget and that you have to find the right supplement for them. And because patients have told me for years, like their doctor says, go get a probiotic, right? Just take a probiotic, get a fish oil, take some echinacea. And then you go to the store and there are refrigerated probiotics, shelf-stable probiotics. There's every different kind with prebiotics, symbiotics, and fish oil. There's all kinds of fish oil, echinacea, angustifolia, purpurea, liquid capsules, how much. It's such an enormous task that I felt the only way to really get the clinician to understand why it's important to give more specificity and that you can't just send your patient out to get a probiotic is because go stand in front of those aisles in a natural grocery store and just try to put yourself in the position of a patient who's trying to figure this out, sometimes with a salesperson who doesn't know any more about it than they do. So I think that it drove home the point during our field trip, Jeff, of doctors kind of saying, oh my goodness, but also realizing it's not fair to the patient. It's not fair to the patient just to send them out and expect them to figure it out themselves. And also, even fellows who had been doing integrative medicine training for about a year at that point were still struggling with looking at the labels themselves.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And again, that first-time patient has done all this work themselves. And now, as a practitioner, you're going to give the patients the ability to use Fullscript to easily share a list of all the supplements they're taking before the appointment. And for them, it's as simple as scanning the bottle or searching the database. We have 80,000 supplements in that database to help queue up to the provider a breakdown of the patient's current daily ingredient intake in detail, which now gives you an easy way, instead of pulling a bunch of bottles out and doing a lot of mental math, to see specifically what they're taking and what they're getting from the ingredients, where you can evaluate quality, you can evaluate, again, too much dosing, too little dosing, and really start that visit right away instead of spending it as part of the intake process. So now, patients have a clearer picture of their current regimen, The insights can better help them anticipate their current health goals, and you're able to walk into that appointment with a lot more information than ever before and jump right into an effective treatment experience. This feature will also help you monitor care between the follow-ups, send your patients a gentle nudge to update it prior to the appointment, and allows you to make sure and see if they're still on plan, if you need to make some tweaks. Maybe they ran out of one of the products you recommended, you'll know what they switched to, and that may inform some of the lab data you're reviewing or maybe some of their supplements. I do it as an embedded link in my intake form. I also do it in every upcoming appointment notification. And the patient clicks on that and can easily jump into the app and update their current supplements list. They can obviously use the website as well. It gives you that updated supplement routine, the ingredient breakdown each time, and you'll also see whether their products are coming from Fullscript or not. Root cause medicine requires a comprehensive look at the roots of what's going on. And we all know that diagnostic testing is one of the keys to gaining clear clinical insights, but until now, the system has been far from smooth. Typically involves managing different accounts. I have many lab accounts in my clinic with different lab companies, and this leads to a fragmented both practitioner experience, but also a patient experience, which impacts consistency as well as just the enthusiasm as the patient's gotten started in this whole person care journey. Eventually, the results are delivered from various labs through different portals, and that can be a clunky experience too, especially if you don't have staff that can track all this down before the visit. Quite frankly, they wind up doing it during the visit, when I'm trying to delay time until some of these results come into my screen so I can walk my patient through it. So we asked ourselves, how can Fullscript give providers and patients the same streamlined experience they have for supplements, with diagnostics powering care on a single platform? That would give providers the ability to manage end-to-end patient care, from diagnostics to treatment maintenance, all in one place. And we're here to streamline that workflow and deliver whole person care at scale. And that means partnering with the names you know and trust in diagnostics. As promised, we've got some exciting news to share. Just like in the supplement space, quality comes first for us. Today, we're working with Quest Diagnostics, Precision Analytical, and Diagnostic Solutions. And there's more partners on the horizon for us. Our experienced medical advisory team vets every lab with the standards you've come to expect from us across all aspects of the process, from supply chain to patient experience. Labs will be launching soon in the Fullscript US market. We're inviting you to join the exclusive list of Fullscript providers who will have early access to this feature. If you already have an active Fullscript account, scan the QR code on the left and join our waiting list. If you don't use Fullscript today and want to join the lab's waiting list, just scan the QR code on the right. And if you aren't fast enough to scan either QR code, no worries. We'll have both of them back up on the screen at the end of the presentation today. Taroni, we've had the labs conversation many times in my years at Fullscript, and you always have a lot of excitement for what this could bring to practitioners. Just love for you to share, how you see labs fitting in, not only to, the platform, but ultimately just better understanding of our patients as we walk them through their health journey.
Yeah, I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy about the labs and being able to pull that into this platform, because just like having the supplements all in one space, having the labs in one space, so it's easy for me to see and easy for me to evaluate, is so crucial. I'm an advocate for testing what you can. And I've testified actually in front of Congress about this issue because I feel like, just like if I was trying to order all the components of a comprehensive metabolic panel or a CBC, it would cost a fortune. The fact that we've been able to put these down into bundled packages has driven the cost down so that, these panels actually don't cost us that much money. And I was like, why aren't we doing this with some of the micronutrients, just for an example, right? So, when I was doing my training, nobody was telling me that, that if I'm keeping a patient on metformin for any length of time for, years, and especially if they're at a higher dose, they will become B12 deficient. I mean, it is just a fact of life. So imagine now this person's also on a proton pump inhibitor and they're 60 years of age. And and now they're starting to have some of the symptoms of B12 deficiency. One, I want something to help remind me or to clue me that I should be checking B12. And I want to have something easy for me to be able to do this with. And being able to do, micronutrient panels would just revolutionize this. What if I have a pregnant woman come in? Why can't I have a panel for all the things that I want to be able to look at, right? Or I have somebody who is on a proton pump inhibitor. I know magnesium can be a problem. I know iron can be a problem. I know B12 can be a problem. Eventually, my hope was that, that we would be able to bundle some of these labs together so that it helps a busy clinician know that these are the things I should be checking on, right, for these patients. So I'm so thrilled. And I also trust the advisory board and your scientific advisory board to make sure that I'm also not using tests for which there's not good validity or there's not good data of consistency across labs. So I think this is amazing. And, it'd be like recommending, though, a statin to somebody that you had no idea what their cholesterol was. Like, why? First of all, if you're making the decision to make a recommendation, it should be based on something. And if there's an objective way to evaluate that, that's what we want. So I just think that this is a great direction for practitioners, also for the patient, because then I can be having a reminder note. My ferritin's really low. I'm taking iron. I need to be checked in 90 days. So then I know that I need to check. So I think this is great for patients who are often left wondering, when do I have a follow-up on that lab, or do I need one? And it also helps with practitioners being able to bundle labs, have them all in one place, and have it all in one platform. So I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, and in addition to simply ordering and maintaining and monitoring that journey, but also being able to review that data, providers will be able to leverage our technology to help translate complex diagnostic data into actionable plans. And we're going to bake that all on advanced intelligence as well as our collective human expertise to help make plan building even faster, more efficient, and most effective.
The labs, the supplement, all this way that we can streamline our work is so important. And I think it comes then to this next huge piece, which is, how do you actually create the personalized plan for your patient? And this, I know this from having to write my own over a long period of time. And just, sometimes at the end of the day, you're sitting there going, now I've got 6 hours of work after I've just worked 8 hours because I have to create 6 care plans for 6 patients, and put everything in there. And when I was at running the fellowship program that you were in, Jeff, it was one of the requirements was that you took a patient and you did a history, a physical intake, and then you created your treatment plan for that patient. And it seemed fairly straightforward, and we wanted our integrative doctors to be able to do this, and our nurse practitioners and others. Except I would hear from the fellows, it's like, wow, you should have told us we needed more time. I took a whole day to write this plan. This was never going to work in practice. I can't write one of these every time I see somebody. And it struck me. It just really hit me because I knew what it was taking for me, but I was realizing, how are we ever going to scale whole person care, personalized care, precision care, if every single person out there, every clinician of all different educational backgrounds is now sitting there trying to figure out how am I going to write one of these for every single patient that comes to me. And it is the core of what we do because we want to create those personalized care plans that are specifically for that person that we saw, not generic for everybody. We have to be able to customize these. But it seems like this is an area also that has been ripe for innovation. And Jeff, I think it'd be so cool if you could just share, like, how is Fullscript addressing this for the busy practitioner?
Yeah, that's perfect. And I remember writing that treatment plan and pulling, almost an all-nighter out in Arizona to develop that plan, trying to, look at all the resources and evidence for writing that plan. So let's walk through the ideal workflow for building a personalized and effective plan. For me now, I've been practicing for 15 years. Writing plans that are going to be clinically effective really starts at the ingredients that I want to prescribe. And those are always personalized to what my individual patient's needs are, also their preferences. Do they prefer a powder? Do they prefer a liquid? Because I need to make sure I build a plan that has the best chance of my patient sticking to it to have the best clinical success. So in this example, many of my patients, they really struggle with sleep. So I want to build a comprehensive plan here to support this concern, as well as address a couple specific nutrients that we've picked up in lab markers that need addressed as well. So when I start looking for ingredients to write that plan, I'm now finding the ones I want, I'm adding the products. You can see the ingredient summary at the bottom really starts to populate, and that saves me a lot of time and a lot of mental math because I can easily see what I'm recommending as the total daily ingredient intake of all of these products put together so that my plan is going to be safe and most effective. Then, to better ensure I'm selecting the right product for my patient in less time, we now have the smart comparison tool. This is going to notify me when there may be other products with a similar ingredient composition that might better reflect certain needs of the patient. Maybe it's fewer pills, maybe it's a lower monthly cost, or maybe Fullscript is going to show me that this product that matches the ingredients I want has a higher repurchase rate on the platform. And that can be for a variety of reasons. Maybe the pills are smaller. Maybe it's easier for that patient to swallow. So originally we released this comparison feature for single ingredients. It's now available on multi-ingredient products as well. And coming to accounts very soon is the ability to choose to compare any combination products you want right from within the catalog.
I'm just going to jump in right there. I love this. I love this workflow, all of the tools that Fullscript is creating because, what I've seen as an educator now, this my fourth postdoc fellowship program I'm leading, is how many clinicians are quitting, how many are leaving, and they leave because they don't feel like they have the time, they don't feel like they have the information. It all feels just kind of overwhelming. And in this age of technology, in this age of artificial intelligence, in this age of, being able to find anything you want online, it has felt frustrating that we have blamed the patient and we have blamed the provider. And it was about time that somebody came in like Fullscript and said, hey, we can help. We're identifying this problem here, and we want clinicians to be able to do what they're really good at doing, which is seeing and caring for their patients. We don't want them spending needless amounts of time looking at bags of supplements or trying to figure out how to write personalized care plans or comparing ingredients online. So all of these tools are what make a huge difference for the success of clinicians to be able to find satisfaction in their work and to be able to remain committed to this type of work, which is harder. It's a lot easier to have a 10-minute visit and write a prescription for one drug and be out the door. This is harder work. It takes more effort, and we need the help and support of the modern technology that's available. So I really want to just commend Fullscript for looking for these gaps and identifying areas for solutions.
Yeah, I think it's an incredible point, Taroni. I also, think you can appreciate how beneficial this is for the patient and their journey and their adherence to our treatment plans, right? How often, do you make a couple recommendations, patient comes back in a couple months and said, well, I can't swallow 10 pills. I'd rather do powder. And so now, this tool also gives you the ability to say, okay, well, I know the ingredient I want. I know the dosage I want. What are the different forms that this patient is most interested in taking that matches that, instead of trying to spend time in the catalog, searching for all of these different pieces?
Yeah, so true. So true. And we used to call it the non-compliant patient when we realized that actually wasn't true. Adherence has a lot to do with, did we hear the story? Did we match the values? Did we recommend something that costs $400 a month and they can only afford $100? So all of these tools reflect the fact that the advisory board and the people that are working at Fullscript are clinicians and technology platform experts, and looking for those gaps and being able to create real solutions. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, you're so spot on, Taroni. I mean, the entire company, and all the Fullscript team is just really focused on how do we allow practitioners to just do what they do best. Recently did an outcome study with our practitioners and found that over 70% of experienced Fullscripters and over 60% of brand new users report saving time when building their plans, which is something we celebrated company-wide, right? Because it's what we've always tried to deliver to our practitioners. And we just now keep trying to figure out other ways to support them and to make their life easier while still delivering amazing care. So I'm going to show you just one example of how you do that. So, very common supplement we're all recommending, vitamin D. It's an ingredient, very often, putting in a patient's treatment plan. And here I can select the compare box on the product card. Fullscript shows me suggested similar products at the top, and I can either click the plus sign to add to my list any other products I want to compare, but I can also go search in the catalog and find my own selections to be able to compare. The last thing I want to show that helps me save time is the new plan optimization tool. All Fullscript users will be able to start using this in the coming weeks. So when you're in the draft of a plan and you navigate to the plan review page, Fullscript will let you know that there's a plan optimization available. This is going to help you instantly spot adherence opportunities by showing product swaps that would maintain your overall ingredient intent for the plan, while optimizing it for factors like I mentioned, price, products with higher repurchase rates, and those that might require fewer tablets or capsules to swallow each day. And you can easily access and action any changes you want before you hit send to your patient.
It's so important. All these things we've been talking about, Jeff, is looking at, getting the information, gathering the history, diagnostics, personalized care plans, and Fullscript, one of the things you're really known for is the ability for a practitioner to come on and know that somebody has vetted those supplements and can attest to the quality of them. When I travel around the country, a lot of physicians come to my talks and they're so interested, they're so intrigued because there's so much more information than people think there are around these supplements. But the question I'm always asked is like, well, how do you know if it's a good supplement? Like, how can you tell? And I know that people would love to be able just to look at a label and say, yep, that is a great quality supplement. But you can't actually tell from looking at the label. You have to be able to go upstream. How was the product sourced? What was the quality analysis that was done on it? If it's a botanical, what plant part was used? What was the extraction? I mean, all of these things are so crucial to know if they were following what we call the current good manufacturing practices. And I know that Fullscript does this in exquisite detail because you all asked me to sort of review some of that process. And this is something I've been involved with for almost 25 years as partly in my role at the United States Pharmacopoeia. And, I am disappointed that even today we're continuing to find problems in the industry. When people go on to buy them from like Amazon or eBay, and this is where a lot of people go to buy their supplements. And when we look at the data that shows that many of them are adulterated, They don't meet the label claim. They don't have what they say they have inside. And if you're the practitioner, if you're the nurse practitioner or the dietitian, and you've now made the recommendation for somebody to take something and they go buy it and it's adulterated, that's a terrible feeling that you have. So for me, quality, people are like, are they safe? And I'm like, safety is directly related to quality. You cannot have a conversation about if dietary supplements are safe unless you know that the quality is what they claim to be. And, I know that just as an example of this last year, the omega-3s, we had a lot of problems because the Peruvian anchovy shortage that we had, which speaks to a number of things. One, that we have to expand our supply chain. But two, you need to make sure that the companies are doing the correct quality analysis. And the only way you can really know that is if there's kind of an independent broker, which is what Fullscript does. They act as the independent broker, making sure that all of the manufacturers are doing what they claim to do. So this is a huge deal, and it gives tremendous confidence for a practitioner to feel comfortable recommending dietary supplements, especially when they're new and they're not really sure what brand to trust. So it's a key value proposition for me with Fullscript.
Yeah, you said it best. I mean, we're so proud of just letting practitioners know that the catalog is quality you can count on, right? A lot of companies, as you said, make these claims. We've built our business backing them up. And it's why we work tirelessly. We have, direct supplier relationships with our integrative medical advisory team and every brand in the catalog. We're vetting products through that in-house team, and we're distributing them through a nationwide network of NSF certified warehouses. So that dedication, flows all the way from source through delivery. And now we're going above and beyond that. We're investing $10 million a year to ensure that our quality standards are bar none. And it's a commitment that the online resellers and the other retailers, they simply can't match. Patients also are understanding quality too, Taroni. I mean, right? Like the patient messaging of, I want quality, I want clinically evidence-backed supplements. I mean, you're probably hearing that from patients you're seeing, right?
Yes, well, absolutely. And so it's also the patient, the consumers are the ones that are picking up the newspaper, turning on the evening news and hearing about another adulterated product or another problem. And it makes them very confused about who to trust. And so having a trusted source that your practitioner trusts and that you can trust, it's like many, 60 something, it depends upon the survey, but 60 to 70% of Americans are taking at least one dietary supplement per day, and many take, 4 or 5. And one of the big things they ask is, which brand should I buy? Which one should I take? Because they're also confused. So you don't want to worry about, there's enough things to worry about in the world. You don't want to have to worry about your supplement not being what it claims to be. So that message we need to keep getting out, but it's a very powerful one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and thanks to the standards that we have, and you certainly have been a part of, inspiring for us, we stand behind every bottle, every box, and now every specialty lab kit that we're delivering. And we take the ordering, the shipping, the tracking workload off of your busy practices, off of you and your staff. We're delivering the supplements so you can focus more of your time on providing whole person care.
Jeff, I'm just sort of struck by our journey on this call today, right? I mean, so we were talking all about, the context and the history and collecting the information and the diagnostics and the treatment plan and the quality and, and the one thing that I'm feeling as I'm here as a clinician is that connection. It's the connection that we have with the people that we care for. I mean, it's always this humbling experience for me that they're willing to share so much of their story with me, right? They're willing to share, their daily lives, but also the things that maybe are embarrassing or hard or things that they share with me that they probably don't share with many other people. And so that human connection is so powerful. And yet there's this part of me that is struck by the fact that the technology itself, like technology, which we think takes us away from our human connection, is in many ways what's enhancing it, right? I mean, it's enhancing my ability to have more time with my patient, to not have to spend half of my time, taking a supplement history, and I don't have to worry about the quality. And now there's more assistance with my treatment plans, but also that Fullscript has provided this platform for me to stay engaged with my patients and for my patients to remain engaged with me. And I was very intrigued by the study that Fullscript did with Dr. Ron, who looked at, okay, so when people are getting the treatment plan, so a patient is getting the treatment plan from Fullscript, right? And the practitioner is able to remain engaged with that individual, they were 73% more likely to stay connected to me, right? They were more likely to stay engaged with me and come back to me. But more interesting to me was the piece about adherence. I mean, so there was the connection, but there was the adherence, because they actually saw about 45% improvement in these various biomarkers that we're looking at with lab findings, meaning that we're getting the results that we were hoping for. And that, to me, what it really showed is patients understand what they're supposed to do, because now they've got a treatment plan that they can follow. There's tips and reminders. There's supplements being sent to them. And now we're also seeing physiologic changes in their blood chemistry, because they're actually able to adhere to what we're recommending. So, for me, one of the great joys of being a healer, being a physician, is that connection to my patient. And I just have to say that we think technology is what divides and takes away our time. But in this case, technology really brings us closer together and allows us to actually be more efficacious with our patients and have that better connection. I mean, isn't that amazing on some level?
So like Taroni said, I mean, adherence it's the secret ingredient of every plan. And if I've learned anything in all the years of providing whole person care, it's this: every patient makes a supplement purchase with the intent of taking them. Keeping them on that plan is really the key to creating a more successful care cycle and really optimizing that patient's health journey, not just for the short term, but for the long-term relationship that I want to have with my patients. Fullscript makes it easy for providers to stay connected to their patients. And as Dr. Lodog reminded us, connected patients are more engaged patients to your practice. On the provider side, you'll easily be able to monitor and follow patient supplement routines in real time at any time. You're able to track patient refills. You can see their updated current supplements list. You can get a clear picture of how a plan is going on at a glance, rather than spending valuable appointment time interrogating your patients or, again, searching and pulling bottles out of those bags. It allows you to make more informed decisions and smarter plan modifications, and your patients can feel that stronger connection to your practice. On the patient side, the Fullscript experience is designed to inspire greater adherence. Everything's delivered via our mobile app to help patients make their plans part of their daily routines. New dose reminders provide a gentle nudge to keep patients on track, while the refill reminders and auto ship opportunities ensure the supplement bottles are never empty. These adherence tools are an easy way to keep patients feeling connected to their plan and on the path to better outcomes. As providers, we're data-driven, and the numbers don't lie. Patients who've ordered supplements using the mobile app are twice as likely to refill as those who have not on the Fullscript platform. So I want to thank everybody for attending. I absolutely want to thank Dr. Lodog for being with us, and just wrap with, realize that in a world, and quite frankly, a healthcare system where, as we talked about, all the reasons why people would be running on empty, Fullscript is passionately committed to helping you and your patients get back to being full.
So, Jeff, I just think it's important because we've covered so much ground. I mean, if you are going to just summarize just succinctly, if you can, what do you want us to walk away with today about what Fullscript can do for us?
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and I'll try to be succinct, even though I could speak for days on all these pieces. But if I could to sum up what we're really focused on bringing to practitioners: clearer clinical insights, easier plan personalization with optimizing those plans, smarter engagement tools, and now we've got this exciting addition of diagnostic tests from the labs practitioners already trust on the platform they're working in today and their patients know. And so for us, this is more than just a collection of new features. It's a sharper focus on stronger connections between providers and their patients throughout the entire care cycle. We really want to make healthcare fulfilling, and we want this whole person message to just spread throughout all of healthcare for patients, for your practice, and for yourself personally. I mean, Taroni touched on that a number of times. Like, imagine the time you gain back with the tools we're bringing to spend with your family or things that you're really passionate about outside of work, ultimately making you a better provider. And so we want to do that in a way that makes whole person care more achievable, sustainable, and scalable. To Taroni, I can never spend enough time with you. I appreciate your time. Your insights are as wise as they ever have been. And, you've obviously been an inspiration for me all the way back when I started my journey in 2008. And I'm sure you're a big inspiration for everybody else who's watching. So it was a pleasure to be with you.
It was a pleasure to be with you, Jeff. And I just want to say that I've always been a fan of Fullscript, and I am so delighted to see all the new offerings that are coming about, and just the exquisite work of the team at Fullscript, the commitment to making things better for the patient and the practitioner. And for me, I believe that the future of healthcare really is whole person care, where we care about the mind and the body and the spirit and the emotional well-being, and that we're also thoughtful about, the planet. It's all connected. And Fullscript's continued commitment to making it so that as a clinician, I can stay involved in my work, that I can remain involved and caring for those who seek my partnership. This is good work. This is strong work. This is heart work. So I love the love language that Fullscript speaks in.
Yeah, that's great. So we are incredibly grateful for everybody's time with us today. We are always here to help you succeed. Know that if your practice already uses Fullscript, these new features are ready to be explored. And remember that the lab's waiting list is open to you as well. If this is your first step with us, please sign up for a free Fullscript account in just a few minutes, and you'll see immediately how we can help streamline your workflow and grow your practice. Thanks for your time. See you soon.